Welcome to the lovely Late IHP Show with your 5D Mystic IHP and 5D Collective. We're gonna chit-chat a little bit more about this beautiful journey when it comes to understanding and communicating as self-agents. And so we talked about that with our episode in Life and Relationships. It is an art form. We also chit-chatted about being you means knowing you control nothing, but you influence everything, and also being a leader. The ability to bring out the best in others is what leaders do. And with that, the one that we spoke about, vows. So when it comes to vows, those who are self-agents have compersion, and they know unconditional love. And they know how to bring the best out of each other, but that's because we have securely attached, non-traumatized people. So they're not looking to have unhealthy self-soothing mechanisms and stay adaptive child part who project their low self-esteem. And in direct communication, basically, what needs to reveal to love themselves first, which reminds me, I probably made a mistake with the relational field. I think he has another word, but I'm not 100% certain. So relational field, though, all those smart therapists, neuroscientists, neurobiologists, all of them that I've learned from, will talk about it. So they will have it with their clients. A mentor will have it with their mentorees, coaches, all of us. And mystics too, which, by the way, so I was watching this really amazing science man who's also a spiritual man, and I love seeing it come together. And he shared how consciousness and free will, they go hand in hand, and consciousness leads you, and it's because you have free will that you follow it. And so I know all about it because for me, for example, at the age of 8, I said, I want to help people when I grow up, and I followed it, and to a T, I'm exactly where I want to be. Everything happens for a reason, every action has a reaction, and everything that is meant to come will always find its way to come. And so with that, people who didn't lose their inner child and stay the higher self, so right here, and securely attached, non-traumatized is the word. You don't have to be mystic, so it means you have thoughts and emotions, and you like to use your left and right, and you're prefrontal. And so you're again, integrated brain. Leaders are leaders based on who, one, tells them that they're leaders to them, but two, the past self people have plenty of leaders. And that's where we're going to leave it. So for the shamans of unconditional love, the true lovers, no compersion. So I want you to be happy, even if that's without me. I will not be that person who pretends to love you. Those who are sirens, so they have unhealthy self-soothing mechanisms, they have insecurity, they are people who could use Terriel, again, to become fierce lovers. It's not energy vampires, it's just people who could use therapy. And they get to do something different, which is ask each other punishing questions, test each other out. You know, it's just, anyways, that's not here. So here we have a good time with true lovers, empowered masculines, empowered feminines, and we know that, again, compersion is a part of the journey. And the shamans are bountiful. So true love means also truth in the way that Sam Harris shares. All of our cherishable beliefs could be falsifiable. We know that. We're grounded in reality. But we don't deny source and spirit and God. Those of us, at least, of source, spirit, and God. And those of science, they actually don't have anything really to say except for there's no free will. So again, if that's the case, then people will have been determined in the womb with the secure or not secure attachment in the first year of life, and there you go. And actually we see them all hanging out very easily. But for the collective here, as we continue to create resiliency in our restorative, embodied, self-aware, accountable, regulating, opportunity life, mystic, spiritual, mindful people coming together, spaciousness, grace, forgiveness, and truth. So when the bardo is in the balance of itself, unlike when instead it's in torment, dislocation, hallucination, and transience. That transients the 3D, 4D collective. Okay, so again, they have their own shamans, like I said. They think they're lovers, but they're actually those who are adaptive child part people. So they can be healed. They're not sirens in the sense of bad, nope. It's just they don't know how to anchor in their ventral energy, and they have maladaptive patterns of behavior. They numb, they soothe in ways when they get stressed that are unhealthy. drinking, drugging, fucking, fooding, binge watching, binge whatever, procrastination, things that are all very healable, and that if you take yourself seriously, you will choose to do so, because you will feel consistently lethargic if you're not taking care of getting yourself to learn how to get the window of tolerance to affect expanded, contain sensations, images, affects, or images, behaviors, affects, and meanings with someone like Janina Fisher, have no attachment, trauma informed. Okay, so people who don't want any of that, they've made it clear that they think it's all patching and pretending, and that it's, you don't want us to have emotions. In the meantime, here we are, the riddle. So when you are your higher self, your child parts are asleep, you're having a good time in life, your heart is open, you're open to it. So you don't have confusion, you don't have upset at God or at life, whether science or spirituality. The riddle of life is not something that weighs you down. Thoughts and emotions from mindfulness, living, loving people, mystics and spiritual, it gets easier because you're creating resiliency, again, in the restorative, embodied, self-aware, accountable, regulating day-to-day life. That's your human makeup's potential. You go with the flow, you deal with the unknowns, uncertainties, unwanteds from within with that open heart. So when the riddle comes around, the riddle is where you will not be stopping for the right answer. So you won't use the left brain, you'll be using the heart. And you will, in fact, shift from literal to metaphorical, from logic to mythic. So for me, from 8 until when I began doing not only online marketing and entrepreneurship, but also the content for IHP, that's where I began to know I'm doing what I had planned out to be, and the online courses, and ever since it's consistently continued to be on a roll. And so that's how you would know. You feel energized to wake up and to go to work, and or not to go. If you're remote, that's really fun. Okay, so you can, that one we won't read, not necessary. A great awakening, aha moment. So you'll have little aha moments as you consistently are headed to where you want to be in your work-life balance. Let me reiterate. You know who you are. Self-acceptance, self-awareness, self-enlightenment. You know, you could be crooked to somebody else from here. It's okay with that. You're okay with that. As Patrick Chan points out, those who are finally their inner child's adults do not have attachment wounds. They don't look outside themselves for a parental figure. That's from here. You say, I know who I am, and I know what I want, and I know that I'm going to keep following that which makes my heart sing. I don't have to figure it out. I don't need to understand it. And that you're putting your left to the side, and you're allowing yourself to trust that you're going to get somewhere. Obviously, you have things in mind of where you're going to, you know, for a job, we all look for different types of ways. And also, you all have different types of interests. And so, you work with the riddle without necessarily making it into a big deal, when on the other hand it's not balanced. There's manipulation, deceit, trickery, and here's where people tell themselves white lies, or they, you know, reach the rock bottom, stuff like that. Okay, so here's our vows. This is a promise, the oath, the contract, and it is where those words and intentions, you set them with yourself, not with others. And when the energy of the vow is present, you are going to be in a time where you feel that you have some space to contemplate, and you also have pieces to your puzzle, which is in line with probably what's going on right now, where you feel that you're aligning day in and day out with the people, if there's partner, and work. So not everything is perfectly aligned, but you are moving towards your vision. And whatever is missing from that, you are choosing. And here we have that lovely medallion, but you're creating that which is your own. I'll get to that in a minute. Wait, the vision. So the dream, the imagined, the revealed, potent imagination, synchronicity, and trust. You can gauge how connected you are to your vision by how tired you are, since the vision feeds us energy. It affects our life force and vitality. So when you are doing what your heart is calling you to, you will get more energized. When you're not where you want to be, now this is again important, you know how to self-regulate in your ventral vagal state. When you have an integrated brain and a restorative, embodied, self-aware, accountable, regulating life, so your higher self, you don't have a default mode network that scans yourself and others. People don't stress you out, boss don't stress you out. And even if there's in a distressed way, you still get stressed. It's just you stress. So you don't feel drained at the end of a day. That's why only if you are securely attached, non-traumatized, the messages here are for those people, because the other people who are the sirens, who are unhealthy self-soothing, they get drained because they're not yet their whole self. So their 0-1-year-old is still in attached, panicky, and their 3 to 7 is still shame, submissive, and their 0-8 needs Patrick Tiahan to reparent, Terry to become fierce lovers, and I'm going to say Pat Ogden and or whoever does EMDR, child parts work and somatics, so that they can get earned secure attachment with their body. Then they will finally begin to notice that they're breathing easy and they're energized, and they then can also base those what was just read. So this is where there's there's physiological response at the foundation. People who have the illusion that death is easier than living are between sympathetic dorsal vagal shutdown. The only reason you would feel that your body weighs you down that much is you don't know how to regulate it in your ventral energy physically. So you have, that's a long story. No, it's not. It's called that those who have developmental childhood trauma don't all go and get Pat Ogden, Bessel van der Kolk, or healing or believe in it. And once you move from this lovely medallion, did we read the medallion? Wait, we got the vision. I'm missing the medallion. Where did it go? Okay, I actually skipped some pages. Well, we will go back. Here we go. So the gem, the diamond, the gold, the inner treasure, the moments of your life that glimmer are clues to where the gem resides. Don't covet the sparkling diamond of another. The gem is like a fingerprint, never to be repeated again. Find yours. And so that's where, as long as you are following your heart, you'll keep finding that which is your true calling. And you will then set a ring, like when people find the empowered counterpart that they're looking for, the infinite, the wheel, the connection. And we will leave it at that. Connectedness, humility, sacred cycles. And you finally, I'm having a little tickle. Give me 1 second to we have the nectar. So 1, secure attached. So you're anchored in ventral energy. So this lovely golden nectar, sacred elixir, the drink of immortality, it contains infinite healing power. So once you're using that which is the mammalian heritage of you, you're going to be in an environment that uses that. Look up the polyvagal theory. He's still proving it, but you'll see what social engagement system and restorative embodiment brings to you. And the integrated brain gets you to be able to be consistently energized with that whole self. And so that's what true partnership feels like. That's what true life feels like, at least, again, for those who believe in being securely attached, non-traumatized, 5D mystics, spiritual, mindfully living, loving people. And this is that lovely medallion that we saw throughout our day. The amulet, the talisman, the heirloom, upholding tradition, protecting, honoring, while when it is not in its light, so when you're fulfilling your destiny as a functional child adult, not your parents, not with father or mother wounds, they're not doing the 0-8-year-old, I bow down, with a sense of low self-esteem. Again, Patrick Chan, reparent inner child, if somebody feels burdensome, inheritance, habituation. And when people are stagnating, it's because they didn't really choose what they were called to. But it is also a philosophy of life. And that is exactly why, whether of mysticism, spirituality, or mindfulness, the mindset, because that human secondary consciousness is always there. So meaning, the philosophers talk about it, psychologists call it a dilemma, and with the modern day information from good therapy, what I can tell you is Dr. Daniel Siegel, with his PDP framework, has still found 3 subcortical areas that have us being motivated. So number 1, it's when you are a whole inner child, and that's when you have your own empowered feminine, the mother, your own empowered masculine, the father, so you think clearly and you feel clearly again, and things that come up. You don't do the biases. You're a star baby, everybody else is a star baby. That's because you're kind, and when you meet unkindness, you know they need therapy. That's it. And you don't have to do anything as long as they physically aren't in your space, because you have a fun time as an eternal child. You don't have exiles, protectors, or little parts that come up and want to get into it with people. And so with this, now we have a person who is going to uphold tradition, which is where the vows, as I shared with you, it's not about the monoamory, polyamory. No, I have love unconditional for you. I have that I will bring the best out of you. I have that I will talk to you authentically and transparently. I have that I won't be bullshitting you if you're doing something that's unhealthy, not good. We are part of society, so these are things that those who think when we say be compassionate aren't using them. They don't know what compassionate means from the physiological response of those who are trauma experts, and so they don't understand the words. The kingdom of God is within you when you have self-compassion and compassion for others and acceptance. And so securely attached people, we will only have compersion for all. And that's because we are not low self-esteem, indirect communicators, passive-aggressive, insecure human beings who have suffering in our body. That makes us sirens because it withers away at your own self-loathing, gut-wrenched, torn apart. I read to you a quote today from Bessel van der Kolk. It's really not fun to know of people that have all that unfortunate business. And so with that, burdensome inheritance habituation is not part of your journey. That's stagnating energy. And so we'll talk some more in future episodes to come. Thanks for stopping by. Understand, communicate. The self-agent has a good time here with the 5D mystic, self-help, mindfulness, living, loving human being called Maria. And God, again, pre-order if you want, The Ways to God. The chapter that I get to write is called God is Discerning Equanimous Love. I have another amazing 8 spiritual authors, co-authors that wrote the book alongside me. And there is hardcover and paper copy once it's published, and then audiobook eventually. So again, thank you for stopping by. Have a great one.